Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your new moon lunar cycle insight video for the lunar cycle beginning with the new moon in Leo, the solar eclipse on the 11th of August, which brings closure to the eclipse season and closure to the Lion's Gate energies, and completes with the Virgo New Moon on the 9th of September. So this is a lunar cycle that I am calling the Great Unwinding, because it's where we switch into a much more steady, grounded pace of life after the intensity of the past few months, and particularly the past lunar cycle where we had that amazingly potent Aquarius lunar eclipse. One by one this month, the planets are going to start to change direction. They're going to begin to move forward again, which will allow us to reap some benefits for the hard work that we've been putting in over the past few weeks and months. And my cat's just come to join us. She joined in for Libra as well, so perhaps you also need some cat energy. This is Lilith. She's going to sit on my lap by the looks of it. So, Sagittarius, we begin this month with this Leo eclipse and Mercury retrograde, all going on in your 9th house, which is the house that is naturally assigned to Sagittarius in the wheel of the zodiac. So it's an energy that you are familiar with. Leo is a fellow fire sign, so it's not a disharmonious energy for you, apart from the fact that Mercury is retrograde here. And this is the house that rules over our beliefs, our thought processes. So with Mercury retrograding here, it might be that things we believe to be true are no longer true for us. We might be rewiring our belief system, our thought process, particularly our spiritual thoughts and beliefs. And this can be very challenging for you, Sagittarius, because you are a sign that is constantly searching for truth. You know, the great Sagittarian quest is what is true, what is the meaning of life, you know, always questing, always hungering for more knowledge, more insight, more wisdom, more learning, which of course eventually leads you to become the teacher and the guru. But you are also have the potential, Sagittarius, when you believe something to be true, to get very inflexible. You know, it can be hard for you to see another perspective. And Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is here saying, oh, have you thought about doing things in this way? Have you thought that this might be true? So your belief system is being tested. You're being asked to be flexible. And, you know, with so much shifting going on in the collective, a lot of what we thought to be true spiritually, a lot of the beliefs that we were deeply entrenched and invested in we're now thinking, perhaps there's a deeper realization. Perhaps that isn't the only truth. Perhaps there is something more to learn. And this is something that can be happening for you, which can be a little bit destabilizing, but will lead to so much soul growth eventually. If you are a teacher, or if you are learning something new at this time, there can be some delays, some frustrations. Perhaps the workshops or groups or classes you're attending are taking extra energy, extra effort. Perhaps the learning you're doing is going a bit slower than you like to imagine. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit insecure about your knowledge, thinking that other people maybe know more than you do at this time, Sagittarius. And these are all things that are coming up to be examined, to be looked at as Mercury goes retrograde. This is a chance for you to change any dogmatic thought processes that you are having, and to really begin to set the intention to maybe start a new spiritual pathway if you feel called to. Perhaps there is a new horizon opening for you, Sagittarius. And You also are the sign of freedom. This is the house of freedom, the expression of authentic truth. So perhaps at this time you're feeling a little bit restless, a little bit stuck, especially as there's a lot going on in your second house of finances. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to travel there, but oh, you know, red tape, money, lack of self-belief is holding me back. So as the month goes on, those energies will start to shift for you and things will start to open up again. Also on the day that Mercury stations direct, the 19th of August, there will be a beautiful grand water trine, well, not grand water trine, sorry, a water trine forming between Jupiter and Neptune in your 12th and 4th houses. Neptune in Pisces in your 4th, Jupiter in Scorpio in your 12th. So this can be a time when a lot of emotional healing is happening for you as well. If you've been working to clear the wounds of the past, to clear old karmic stuff, working on, you know, really feeling and embracing your emotions, particularly those emotions you like to hide, Sagittarius. We know that you are a sign that likes to focus on the positive, but Jupiter in Scorpio in your 12th house might be taking you into the depths. So if you've been brave and you've gone there and you've faced your fears and faced your demons and faced that stuff that you've been not wanting to look at, then this is the time that you can reap the rewards for that. Some deep psychological healing, some emotional healing might happen for you mid-month. Mars is going to move back into Capricorn the day after the new moon on the 12th of August. And he is going to be going back into your second house with Saturn, with Pluto, which is where he was May time this year. And particularly he's going to be going over the degrees that he was on between the 11th and 16th of May. So there's a lot going on in your second house this month, Sagittarius, with Mars revisiting and stationing there. Saturn stationing direct there. He's been there since the winter solstice last year, so there's a huge emphasis on this house. Pluto's also transiting here. Lilith has been transiting here. And this is the house of resources, of value. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. There might be some issues going on with money at the moment, going on with financial abundance. You may be feeling some fears around lack and limitation and scarcity at this time. And if you've been working to clear these patterns, if you've been working to sort your finances out, to, you know, really become practical and methodical and organized around your resources, and not just your material resources, but your inner gifts as well, your talents, your things that you have to share with the rest of the world. If you've been working to manifest them in a more structured way, perhaps laying down foundations for future financial success, then this is the time when some rewards can come for you, both internally and externally. Perhaps you've been working to learn how to value yourself and what you have to offer the world. You know, you've been realigning and coming into that deep inner knowing that, yes, I am valuable and I deserve to be compensated for the time and energy that I expend with my creations. So there can be a huge emphasis on this at the moment, Sagittarius, and you might find that particularly as the sun moves into Virgo on the 23rd and enters your 10th house of career and purpose and reputation, and comes into a trine with Saturn here, comes into a trine with Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house, that there might be some opportunities for you to really create some abundance. Hello again, Kat. To really ground your manifestations, to really see some results. This can be like bringing in the harvest, you know. This can be a time when all the work you've put in can be recognized by the cosmos and by other people, and they say, you know, the gifts can start to pour in, or they can really recognize you and start to offer you opportunities, and you can begin to move forward with your goals, with your work in particular. This is a very work and and financially orientated month for you. So the sun will be illuminating your 10th house up until equinox, so a good time to be seen, a good time to step up, to put your creations out into the world, to put your yourself forward for positions that you are wanting to acquire at work, you know, perhaps a promotion, perhaps a new job. It's a good time for all of that to start to come together. So, like I said, Mars will move back into that second house early in the month. Then on the 27th, he will station direct in your 6th house. Hooray, hooray, hooray. So this will be a beautiful shift in energy as he begins to pick up speed, you know, with the weeks following his station, and he will head back into your 3rd house, your Aquarian house, where he spent most of his retrograde journey this summer. And you can start to see the results of the work you've been doing, claiming your authentic voice. Perhaps you have been freeing yourself up to speak deeper levels of truth, Sagittarius. Perhaps you have been putting all of your effort into your writing, your teaching, your speaking. The 3rd house rules throat chakra activities, expression of self, networking, internet, groups of friends. So if you've been expending energy in some of these areas, if you've been perhaps clearing out the old, now you can start to call forward the new. You can start to feel energized, motivated to do these things, to share your creations and share your wisdom with the world. You know, you're the teacher. The throat chakra is very, very important for you, Sagittarius. So this is a time when you can again start to see some benefits for the energy that you've been putting in. We've talked about Saturn stationing, and that will actually happen on the 6th of September. So towards the end of this lunar cycle, a week or no, 3 days before the new moon, which will occur in your 10th house, adding to that energy of being seen and giving you the opportunity to create some kind of rebirth in your work life, in your career, in your vocation. So this can be a new beginning where you can call forth the tangible manifestations of what you wish to see unfolding in your career over the next 12-month cycle. But you must be willing to commit, and you must be willing to take the small day-to-day steps, because these earth energies, these Virgo energies, manage the details, the small practical details, routines and structures of daily life, whereas you, Sagittarius, you like to see the bigger picture. You like to see things from a much higher perspective, and you like things to flow. You know, you're the sign that's in the moment. You can be quite happy-go-lucky, but these energies require discipline, require devotion. So this is a time for you to really begin to think about how you apply yourself. You know, you might be wanting to achieve things in the physical world, but are you putting the effort in? Are you willing to, you know, bypass your desire for fun and adventure and really set down some roots, set down some foundations so that you can achieve long-term success? Something to think about this month, Sagittarius. And I'm going to pick a card for you from the Mythic Oracle by Mythic Oracle, quite an old deck that I've been drawn to use for these videos, by Carissa Millardo, and Michelle Lee Phelan is the artist. And I'm going to pick two actually, because everybody else has been having two. They've been flying out, so I think that is what the cosmos wants this month. So two cards for you, and these cards are based around Greek mythological archetypes, which of course are closely associated with astrology. So they feel like the perfect cards to use. So what is the message for you, Sagittarius? So there could not perhaps be an archetype that's more associated with you. Dionysus, freedom. And we also have Aphrodite, the love goddess, and she's the name on that card, the message on that card is beauty. So the beauty of freedom. And although freedom is a beautiful thing, Sagittarius, sometimes to be truly free, we need to have structure, we need to have foundations. If we want our freedom, if we want our sovereignty, if we want a beautiful life long term, there are things that we have to attend to in the now. And this can be also a message around recognizing your inner beauty and your inner worth, because you are having Uranus backtracking in your 6th house, which can be an energy that is associated with self-criticism, with being quite hard on oneself, and the Saturnian energies in your 2nd house. You know, this is also a house that is very much connected with self-love. So perhaps there's a message here about giving yourself the freedom to be yourself and not being hard on yourself. So we want to put the work in, but we don't want to self-flagellate. We don't want to be Capricorn, because that's not you. You know, you are, the beauty of you, Sagittarius, is that uplifting, optimistic energy. So don't let that go whilst you are building these foundations, whilst you are putting the work in. And you might find that there are times when you do need to kind of free yourself, when you do need to break out of the routine and give yourself the expansion you need, the time you need to explore and perhaps go wild and liberate yourself a little bit as well. So perhaps, you know, these cards are saying keep it in balance, work, but keep it in balance. And also I have a feeling that some of you Sagittarians might actually find yourself, if you're single, you might actually find yourself meeting a partner or meeting someone that you can have fun with, that you can be free with this month. That was something that was actually coming through before I began the video as well. So although it's not particularly in your transits, intuitively be open to the love that's coming, be open to the things that are coming to you in unexpected ways this month, Sagittarius. So work, but don't be too hard on yourself. Lay foundations, but give yourself freedom of expression, freedom of truth. Don't be afraid to change your belief patterns. Don't be afraid to go beyond what you thought was true before into the new reality. So I hope that helps and brings some insight for you for the coming weeks. Sagittarius, if you, the cat's still on my lap, if you wish to connect with me further, you can check the links below, or you can contact me for a reading. I am sending you so much love and so many blessings, and wishing you all of the abundance and all of the love in the world for this cycle.